Have you ever wondered whose voice it is that speaks in your mind? And who is the one that listens to this voice? What if the voice you hear isn't truly yours? What if, instead of being your companion, it's merely a shadow, whispering not your truths but its own illusions? Imagine for a moment this endless inner dialogue, commenting on every move, analyzing every decision, replaying the past, or crafting visions of the future. Could this be something other than a habit you've mistaken for yourself? Let us go deeper. Have you ever felt as though life is slipping through your fingers like a stream, while your thoughts linger on what's been or dream of what might be? That voice in your mind tells you who you are, what you should do, and who you should become. It argues, justifies, and judges. But here's a truth many never realize: you are not that voice. You are the one who hears it, the observer, the silent witness beyond all words and thoughts. And yet, how often do we live as though trapped, following our thoughts like wanderers lost in a dense fog? We mistake this endless stream of reflections and doubts for reality, allowing it to control our emotions, feelings, and essence. We forget to look beyond the clouds to the clear sky that's always there. What if I told you that this fog is an illusion? That you can see the world as it truly is by freeing yourself from the mind's grip? The truth is simple yet profound. Grasping it can change everything. Your mind craves control. It thrives on keeping you busy thinking, planning, worrying, regretting. Its mission is to distract you from what truly matters. The present moment, the only moment that truly exists. And here lies the paradox. While your mind keeps you preoccupied, real life passes unnoticed. Moments of beauty, silence, and joy vanish before they're even experienced. That's why I invite you on this journey. Awareness begins with a simple realization. Silence isn't emptiness. Silence is the space where your true self resides, the part of you untouched by doubt, fear, or pain. It's always been there, waiting patiently for you to turn toward it. This silence is your inner peace, unshaken by the storms of the external world. Freeing yourself from intrusive thoughts, uncontrolled emotions, and the illusion of control is not as difficult as it seems. Together, we'll embark on a journey to quiet the noise and uncover the depth within you that's been longing for attention. You'll learn to observe your thoughts without becoming their prisoner, discovering clarity and calm you might never have imagined. But be prepared. This journey requires attention and courage. It will uncover depths you may not have known existed. And if, even for a moment, you let go of everything occupying your mind, if you take a deep breath and simply exist, you'll see it. The door to true freedom has always been open. Your only task is to step through. Now, let's explore the nature of thought and uncover the path to clarity and peace. Close your eyes and sit with the silence where thoughts are born. In this silence, as the noise of the outside world fades, you begin to notice a voice that has always been with you. Sometimes it soothes, other times it disturbs. It comments on events, critiques your mistakes, whispers fears, and narrates your life. But who is this inner companion? What is this voice that never seems to quiet, even when you seek peace? This voice is neither your enemy nor your friend. It is simply a function of your mind, a natural echo of your experiences, but it is not you. It exists to speak, but it doesn't define who you are. If you pause and observe, you'll see that this voice is separate from your true self. In this realization lies the seed of inner peace and tranquility. This endless inner dialogue is an inheritance from the past, a tool that once helped us survive, analyze, and plan. It warned us of dangers, solved problems, and anticipated the future. But this mechanism, once vital, has become a trap. When thoughts flow uncontrollably, they create chaos and anxiety, like a river overflowing its banks and flooding everything around it. The key is to learn to watch the river without being swept away. To reclaim the silence that holds the essence of who you truly are. Instead of aiding us, our thoughts often seize our attention and pull us away from the present moment, the silence where true life unfolds. Imagine sitting in a theater, immersed in a magnificent play. Each scene captivates you, stirs your emotions, and draws you into its magic. But then, someone next to you starts commenting on everything aloud, explaining the plot, analyzing the actors, critiquing the director. This commentator ruins the experience, pulling you out of the moment and stealing your joy. Your thoughts are like this commentator, incapable of being silent. But what if you could simply observe the play of life without letting your thoughts interfere? What if you could experience this moment in all its fullness, free from unnecessary words and explanations? Try it now. Close your eyes and listen to your thoughts. What are they saying? What are they whispering? What are they seeking? Don't try to stop them or argue with them. Just watch. Let them flow like a river, uninterrupted. Notice this: there's a space between you and your thoughts. You are not the stream of words, you are the one observing it. This simple act of observation is the key to freedom. Inner dialogue is nothing more than a habit, a pattern deeply rooted in our consciousness. It's like a song stuck in your head or lines of a poem replaying over and over. But once you realize that these thoughts are automatic processes, you gain freedom. Your true essence is not in your thoughts but in the awareness that observes them, an infinite universe watching the stars. Thoughts come and go, like stars that flare and fade in the boundless sky. They may shine brightly or barely glimmer, but they never alter the nature of the universe that holds them. Similarly, you are not your thoughts. You are the vast space of awareness in which every thought arises and fades away. Trying to stop the flow of thoughts is futile. Instead, learn to view it with love and detachment. When you stop identifying with your thoughts, they lose their power over you. Like an actor leaving the stage, the inner voice quiets when it no longer receives applause. You're no longer a participant in the drama but a spectator enjoying the performance. This isn't a retreat from life, it's an embrace of its fullness. In the shift from participant to observer, a profound peace arises, a peace that cannot be disturbed. Life doesn't demand perfection or struggle from you. It simply is, like the sky, which remains itself whether it's clear or covered with clouds. When you realize you are the observer, not the author of every thought, clarity emerges. This clarity is the foundation of inner peace, independent of external circumstances. In this state, you find freedom not because you've silenced the inner dialogue, but because you've stopped being its prisoner. Understanding that the inner voice is merely a tool, something you can use but that doesn't have to control you, brings greater clarity and serenity into your life. Let's go deeper. What happens when we apply this awareness to the emotions often sparked by our inner voice? How can we learn to free ourselves from their weight and truly let them go? We're all familiar with the feeling of emotional heaviness, as if we're carrying an invisible burden crafted by our internal dialogues and memories of the past. These emotions, like scars, stay with us, entwined with the voice of the mind that sometimes amplifies pain instead of healing it. Why is it so hard to release these feelings? What keeps us trapped in suffering, unable to let go of the pain? Emotions are living energy meant to move, flow, and transform. But when we resist, suppress, or try to avoid them, they stagnate, solidifying into heavy stones lying deep within our consciousness and bodies. This energy longs for space and freedom, like a river seeking its way to the ocean. Yet, when we cling to the past, trying to hold on or change what has already happened, emotions get stuck. This resistance makes us prisoners of our own pain. Think of the ocean. Its waves rise, crest, crash against the shore, and disappear. Emotions are the same. They come and go, their nature is temporary. But we often forget this, turning them into something permanent, like a storm that never passes. Liberation begins with the simple act of observation. When anger, sadness, or fear fills your inner space, try not to identify with the emotion. Don't try to suppress it or blame yourself for its presence. Instead, observe the emotion from a distance, like watching clouds drifting across the sky, sometimes obscuring the sun. When we stop being participants battling our emotions and instead become witnesses to them, everything changes. Observation opens the door to understanding that emotions do not define us. They are simply visitors in our inner space. They come to be seen, felt, and then to leave. Acceptance becomes a powerful tool. Instead of resisting, allow yourself to feel and experience the emotion without judgment or attachment. Acceptance is an art that requires subtlety and patience. It's not weakness as it may seem at first, but the greatest form of freedom. To release emotional burdens, you must allow yourself to fully feel the emotion without suppressing or judging it. Try a small practice now. Think of a situation from your past or a thought about the future that stirs uncomfortable emotions. Notice how these feelings manifest in your body. Is there tension somewhere? Where exactly do you feel it? Gently direct your attention to that spot without trying to avoid or suppress the sensation. Simply notice it and allow it to be. Now gently shift your attention to your breath. As you inhale, imagine a soft golden light filling that space, bringing warmth, acceptance, and healing. As you exhale, picture the tension, pain, or heaviness leaving your body, replaced by a sense of peace and calm. Take slow, mindful breaths, and notice how the tightness begins to soften, how the weight starts to fade. When you feel ready, say quietly to yourself, I see you, I thank you, I release you. This simple yet profound practice helps you reconnect with yourself. We often don't realize how tightly we cling to the past. Moments that have long since ended linger in our minds, repeating like distant echoes, turning fleeting experiences into burdens we carry for years. But here's the truth. The pain doesn't come from the event itself, it comes from our struggle to let it go. Letting go isn't about forgetting or dismissing what happened. It's about choosing freedom over control. It's deciding that the past will no longer dictate your present. One way to approach this is to name your emotions. When you feel overwhelmed, pause and say, "This is anger. This is sadness. This is fear." By naming them, you create space, a moment to see the emotions as separate from yourself. It's like stepping back to view the bigger picture. In this simple act lies profound strength. You are no longer consumed by the emotion. Instead, you see it for what it is, a passing state, not a permanent truth. Life isn't about avoiding pain or burying it. It's about feeling it fully, experiencing it deeply, and then letting it flow through you. When you stop resisting your emotions, you transform your relationship with them. Pain ceases to be the enemy. It becomes a teacher, guiding you toward healing and growth. Releasing emotions takes patience and practice. But with every mindful step, you move closer to peace and balance. Welcome your feelings, observe them, let them flow, and release them with love. In this release lies your freedom. Freedom to live in the present, unshackled from the weight of the past, open to joy and grounded in serenity. Now that you've embraced this lightness, let's turn to another source of inner tension: the need for control. Let's reflect on how acceptance can become a source of peace and freedom. How often have you felt life slipping through your grasp? No matter how tightly we hold on, trying to control every moment, every detail, something always escapes, like sand slipping through our fingers on the shore. This inevitability fills us with unease, driving us to seek clarity and certainty, to believe that we can shape the future exactly as we imagine. Yet here lies a paradox. The harder we try to control life, the more vulnerable and tense we become. Can we ever truly say we control anything at all? Think of the days meticulously planned, only for unexpected events to unravel them. Think of the relationships managed so carefully to avoid conflict, yet still met with misunderstanding and pain. Life, like an untamed ocean, moves by its own rhythm, far beyond the scope of our plans. And the quest for control exhausts us. We spend so much energy trying to confine reality to our expectations. But reality, like water, slips through our grasp. The tighter we hold, the faster it escapes, leaving us drained and disheartened. This struggle is the root of much fatigue and inner conflict. By resisting the natural flow of life, we find ourselves swimming against the current, an impossible, exhausting task. But there is another way, the way of acceptance. Acceptance is not surrender. It is not a weakness. It is a profound strength. It is understanding that while we can act, we cannot always control the outcome. Picture a ship's captain trusting the sea, not taming the waves but navigating their rhythm, knowing the currents will carry the ship where it needs to go. Try this now. Close your eyes and imagine yourself standing by a wide river. The water flows steadily, effortlessly, carrying away everything that no longer serves you. Visualize your thoughts, emotions, and fears tied to control rising to the surface. Now step forward into the river. Feel its current washing away the weight you've been carrying. With each exhale, let the river take these burdens, leaving behind only lightness and calm. Quietly say to yourself, "I let go. I trust life and its wisdom." Feel the tension dissolve, making space for peace, clarity, and new energy. This practice isn't about giving up. It's about aligning with the flow of life, letting it guide you instead of forcing your way. It's not passivity, it's wisdom. You take action where you can, but you trust life to unfold on its terms. When we release the need for control, we uncover a profound freedom. The freedom to act without fear of the outcome. The freedom to accept life as it is without forcing it to match our desires. Consider the gardener. He waters and nurtures his plants, tending to them with care. But he understands that growth and bloom happen in their own time, beyond his control. Life is like a river, flowing effortlessly in its own rhythm. Instead of struggling, we can choose to be carried by its current. In this flow, we discover new horizons, new opportunities, and paths we never imagined. Acceptance doesn't mean abandoning responsibility. It means wisdom, knowing what we can influence and what we must release. Trust the river of life. It will carry you exactly where you're meant to go. When anxiety or unease arises over things beyond your control, pause and ask yourself a simple yet profound question. Can I control this? This question, like a quiet lighthouse amidst the waves of doubt, helps restore balance and acceptance of life's natural order. Life is inherently unpredictable, and therein lies its beauty. It invites us not to resist its flow, but to trust it, moving in harmony with its rhythm. Letting go of control doesn't mean losing yourself. On the contrary, it frees you from the chains you've placed on your heart and mind. It allows you to truly live, feeling light and unburdened. This isn't defeat. It's a path to inner peace. And when you stop resisting life, it unveils new horizons you could never have imagined. Allow yourself to flow with this current and see where it leads. Freed from the need to control everything, you create space for freedom and openness where your heart can rediscover a source of energy and inspiration. A life filled with freedom and inner peace like a clear sky after a long rain is something we all aspire to. We long for that ease of being, a serenity unbound by fears and worries. Yet, in our pursuit of safety, we often build invisible walls around ourselves. Walls that seem to protect us from pain and disappointment. But in truth, they separate us from the world, from others, and even from ourselves. Within these self-imposed boundaries, we miss the infinite richness of life waiting to unfold before us. The fears we try to escape become chains, holding us in place. These unseen barriers may offer a false sense of calm, but they rob us of something essential: the ability to feel authentically, to experience joy fully. Like a thick veil of doubt and worry blocking the sun's brilliance, they obscure the beauty of connection and spontaneity. Beyond these walls lies life's true wealth, a profound bond with its unpredictable flow. In avoiding pain, we often forfeit the taste of its opposite, true happiness, which can only be felt with an open heart. We forget that light and shadow are inseparable, and only by embracing our vulnerability can we transform our inner world. To be open to the world is to allow yourself to be vulnerable. This does not mean erasing fear or eliminating all challenges. It means meeting life's difficulties with grace, not withdrawing, but moving through them with an open heart. Vulnerability is not weakness. It is profound and authentic strength. It allows us to forge genuine connections and experience joy without fear of its passing. Just as a flower opens its petals to the sun, we too can open ourselves to life, welcoming both its warmth and its storms. The heart, the remarkable center of our inner universe, holds the key to our liberation. By working with its energy, we rediscover the love, warmth, and acceptance already within us. Take a moment to imagine your heart as a source of light, gently glowing at the center of your chest. Breathe deeply. And with each exhale, feel this light spreading throughout your body, expanding beyond it, illuminating everything around you. Let this sense of comfort and warmth fill you completely, like a spring breeze melting away the last traces of winter's chill. When deeply connected with ourselves, we begin to notice the power of the present moment. So often we look back at events that seem to have left marks on our soul or try to peer ahead, anticipating a future that does not yet exist. In doing so, we lose touch with what is happening right now. The present moment is where the past and future converge. It is where true reality resides. Pause for a moment. Close your eyes and feel your breath flowing gently within you. Let each inhale remind you that you are alive, and each exhale helps you release what no longer serves you. Openness extends beyond ourselves into our relationships with others. When we approach life and those around us with vulnerability and acceptance, we nurture connection, growth, and the authentic joy that comes from being fully present in the world as it is. Honesty, sincerity, and the courage to be authentic allow us to form meaningful connections. This takes bravery, as being honest means revealing our vulnerability and removing the masks we often hide behind. Try sharing your thoughts and feelings without fear of misunderstanding. Notice how this creates space for deep closeness, how your words become a bridge, connecting you to another person. Saying yes to life is a choice that requires courage. We often delay this moment, waiting for ideal conditions, the absence of all fear or doubt. But the truth is, the perfect moment is now. Life unfolds before us every instant, offering countless opportunities. Take the first step, even if it feels uncertain. Allow yourself to act, to try, to make mistakes, and to learn. It is in this process that you shape your life, inspired by your inner light. Openness is a daily choice. It is ongoing work on yourself, your heart, and your relationship with the world. With each moment you choose to open up, you draw closer to a deep harmony with yourself and life. Vulnerability ceases to be a shadow and becomes a source of light. You learn to accept, to feel, to be genuine, and to stay connected with the world. In this openness, in this movement toward life, you find your true self. Alive, authentic, and endlessly free. What does freedom mean to you? Is it the feeling of lightness when all obligations and worries disappear? Or perhaps it's the sense that nothing and no one limits your choices. We often think of freedom as something external, a world without boundaries or obstacles, a life fully under our control. But have you noticed that even when these conditions are met, anxiety and dissatisfaction often persist? True freedom isn't something outside of us. It arises from within. Close your eyes and imagine your mind as a radio that never stops playing. It broadcasts news, gossip, predictions, and reflections on the past. These endless waves of noise become so familiar that we start mistaking them for our own voice. But is that really true? The mind is a tool, not a master. It may speak endlessly, but you don't have to listen. Imagine instead of engaging with every thought, you simply observe them like leaves floating down a river. They come and go, but they don't define you. Try this right now. You are not your thoughts. You are the one watching them. Emotions, like thoughts, often seem to overpower us. Anger burns like a flame, capable of warming or scorching. Fear rises like a wave, threatening to carry us away. But what if we stopped viewing emotions as enemies? Instead of resisting them, we could learn to accept them. When sadness or fear arises, don't run from it. Take a deep breath and acknowledge its presence as if saying, I see you. Then allow this energy to flow through you, like rain nourishing the earth before evaporating. Realize this: emotions come and go, but you remain. In that realization lies freedom. Don't we often try to control everything to feel safe? We believe that with enough effort, we can avoid mistakes, predict every turn, and shield ourselves from the unexpected. But control is an illusion. Life is a river, flowing its own way without asking for permission. The more we struggle against its current state, the more exhausted and frustrated we become. Now imagine simply floating. Let the river carry you, trusting its flow. In that surrender, you find not only freedom but the profound beauty of being fully alive. You're not trying to direct the river, you're trusting its flow. The water carries you, and you understand that every twist and turn is not an obstacle but part of the journey. Sometimes storms rage in the center of this river. The wind snaps branches, rain lashes your face, and waves rise high around you. But imagine that within the heart of this storm lies a place of complete stillness. At its center is silence, untouched by thunder or wind. That silence exists within you. You can find it anytime by pausing and listening to the quiet beneath the noise of thoughts and emotions. True freedom doesn't come from avoiding the storm but from discovering peace within it. This freedom is available to all of us right now. It doesn't require long journeys, complex techniques, or perfect conditions. It begins with small steps, a daily choice to be present. Listen to your breath. Feel the air entering and leaving your lungs. This breath is your anchor, bringing you back to the moment. Ask yourself, what can I let go of right now? What thought, fear, or expectation no longer serves me? Freedom isn't about adding something new but about releasing what isn't needed. We often believe we can only open our hearts when we're certain they won't be hurt. But true openness isn't about shielding ourselves from pain, it's about embracing the fullness of life. Say yes to each moment, whether joyful or challenging. Imagine your soul as a window flung open to the wind. The wind may be cold or warm, but it always carries the freshness of new experiences. In that openness, you discover a joy that doesn't depend on circumstances. Every day, every moment, is a new opportunity to return to yourself. Pause right now. Feel your inner stillness. Remember that you are not your thoughts, your emotions, or your attempts to control life. You are the space in which all of this unfolds. This space is filled with a peace that no one can take from you. When you connect with this peace, you realize that freedom isn't a destination, it's a state of being. It's not something you have to seek. It's already here within you. Let these words settle softly in your heart, like a gentle echo. Carry them with you on your journey. With every breath, every glance, every choice, remember this: freedom is already yours. It has always been with you, patiently waiting for you to recognize it.